Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are live for race 7 of the Hold Your Brakes Academy, and we are at one of the more technical tracks on the schedule for the second time this season, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Happy Monday, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Royalty Racing Network. I'm Joshua King, and joining me in the booth is Matt Drafty Beef Everard. Drafty, already race 7 out of 8 here on the season. It's flying by. The top 5, Kelly Akron, Zach White, Shane King, Robert Altman, and of course Ryan Perrone Sr. leads the way. Who do you think has a legit chance to pull off a win tonight and put the pressure on Perrone Sr.? I think that's a good pick. He's performed well all season been caught up in a couple little issues, but still found that consistency that you look for throughout a season. And we both know Shane very well. His consistency is something he always seems to have. Last time we were here at this track, we saw arguably the best race of the season as far as cleanliness and excitement. Do you expect something similar this race?
Yeah, and sorry, I was muted there, so sorry about that, folks. My pick from earlier was Shane King, in case you didn't hear it, because I was muted. But yeah, I'm hoping to see an even better race this time around. Hoping that very few cautions at all, and maybe one or two. It is a super speedway after all. There's bound to be some craziness.
100%. I think one thing that we will see, Drafty, a little bit more than in that first race is that sense of desperation. Drivers knowing that, especially in the top 5 there, with still a legitimate chance to get this done for the championship, knowing they have to perform tonight. Would you say that's probably accurate?
Oh yeah, the pressure is on now. We got this race and the final one next week at the iRacing Super Speedway, which is arguably probably one of the harder races that they've done was at iRacing Super Speedway. So I think these guys are going to be looking to hopefully get the easy win here tonight. Even though there is pressure, it's going to be easier to get the win here, I feel, than at the iRacing Super Speedway.
I would agree, and I think this one really sets the stage for next week, right? You come out here tonight, you perform well, maybe even a top 5, and I'm not trying to jinx him by any means, but Ryan Prone Sr., if he has a bad run, that could set it up next week to where if you come out and handle a very, very challenging super speedway in the final week, you could walk out with a championship at the end.
Yeah, and looking at these points too, to remind everyone at home, they have bonus points for how many incidents you have. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you start at 20 and you lose one for every incident point, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's the way it works out. It's definitely a different series altogether as far as not being a lapped tracked race, if you will. It's a timed race. And then that point system, which is very cool, it encourages the cleanliness, the respectful racing that we like to see on iRacing that, quite truthfully, is missing a lot of times these days.
I agree. It brings out, I think that's a great incentive as well. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this league and how it works, and everyone seems to respect it, and it's helped out a lot of people in these points. I mean, if you look at 5th place in points, Kelly Akron 70 points behind, which seems like a lot, but if you can get a 0x, that's 20 points right there. And if these guys in front of you are losing their bonus points, I mean, it just throws a whole new equation into it.
That's right. We've seen people stay up in the top 10 and even flirt with the top 5 in points all season that haven't necessarily had the best runs as far as position finishes, but going to be interesting nevertheless. Robert Altman in the chat, welcome, sir. I would ask who your pick is to win, but of course you're going to be on the grid this evening. I'd have to believe that you're going to pick yourself. Everyone else in the chat, feel free to comment who your pick would be for this evening as you see them on your Hold Your Brakes Academy timing tower on the left side of your screen. We're approaching 5 minutes here in practice/open qualifying. Jorge Ledesma Jr. sits on the top with a 32.07. Drafty, that's really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm seeing a 31.26.
I'm sorry, you're correct. I read his last lap, not his best lap.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't reading the wrong thing. But yeah, no, it's cool to see him. We talked about him before ending up, always in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So I mean, if he can start out front, stay out front, stay away from all the shenanigans, it's good chance he can bring this one home tonight.
I would agree with that for sure. Let's try to get your pick in here for a brief interview as they finish up qualifying. Of course, Drafty did take the number 60 of Shane King. Shane, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Got you, man. How's it going?
Going well. Shane, we were analyzing the points a little bit. This season has absolutely flown by. We're already in week 7 of the 8-week schedule. You sit within striking distance of Ryan Perone Sr. You're 48 points out. The strategy and attitude now coming into Atlanta has to be win and go into iRacing Super Speedway expecting to perform well and win a championship, right?
Oh, absolutely. But uh, hats off to Ryan, man. He's run a flawless season. He's the only driver in the league that has finished in the top 5 every race. So it's not just about what I do. I hate to wish it on him, but I'm gonna need him to have a little bit of misfortune, I think, for me to have a shot at it.
Yeah, all the stars are going to have to align in that sense. We also mentioned how consistent you have been, of course, getting your first win in the first inaugural race of the series. Couldn't have worked out more perfect in that sense. But you still have a chance. So this week, technical track, we also saw how technical and challenging iRacing Super Speedway can be. What's the game plan tonight to put yourself in a position to win near the end like you always try to do at these super speedways?
Just the same. Well, I've kind of switched up my game plan. So I normally try to hang out at the back, and that's bit me a few times, and it caused me a DNF earlier in the season. So for me to be sitting where I'm at in points is surprising enough with me having a DNF. But I'm gonna try and just get up towards the front and just stay there and hope that whatever trouble brews behind me.
Yeah, being in the Hornet's Nest at the super speedways never a great feeling and always a scary place to be, in my opinion. Before we let you get back to some late practice / qualifying, anyone you'd like to shout out or thank this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Royalty Motorsports, the team I drive for, the you guys, the broadcasters, for uh, for broadcasting this. Man, that means a lot. That means a ton to me, and I know a lot of these guys go back and watch the broadcast afterwards and enjoy it. Make sure to follow me on Twitch and on TikTok, Mediocre Sim Racer. Uh, Check out dumpstertoday.com if you're in the Charlotte area. I've got family that owns that, so make sure to check them out. And just good luck to all the drivers tonight, man. I think it's gonna be a little tricky. I was just telling the guys that I ran 25 laps in that session so far consecutive, and the car started getting a little tail happy. So it may turn into a handling thing if we get a long green.
Yeah, that would be fun to see. Well, thanks for joining us, Shane. Appreciate it as always. And we look forward to seeing what you can do in that dumpstertoday.com Ford Mustang number 60.
Yeah, thank you. And also, I got sidetracked. Sorry that happens sometimes. But Majestic Branded and Apparel, Press Gas Haul Ass uh, Paints, our friend Drafty Beef, the announcer also. He does awesome paints.
He does. Right on, man. We'll appreciate the shout outs. Maybe we'll be talking to you after the race, too.
Oh, fingers crossed. We'll see.
All right. Have a good one, sir. Once again, folks, that was the driver of the number 60, Shane King, who you saw on your screen for a good amount of time there. Drafty, it's been really cool to see Shane, as he said, go from that strict mentality of we're going to just kind of qualify in the back or not even qualify, try to work our way up. And now really have that aggressive, I want to put myself up front early and stay there all race.
Right, I think that's going to be key to avoiding a lot of issues tonight. I think the ones we'll see up front are going to be the ones that have really put their head down and practiced, and maybe we see the ones that maybe haven't taken it as seriously at the back. But I could be wrong. Super speedways do have a lot of wild cards in them.
That's very true. And didn't take a look at too many cars on the speedway as they were finishing up practice or qualifying, but we are getting to know them fairly well this day and age, since this is now week 7. But Drafty, Jorge Ledesma Jr. with the quick time puts himself on pole for race 7.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. He's been fighting hard all season. It's good to see him start out front. I feel like normally he's been either mid-pack towards the end of the rear on the starts here, but it's good to see him up front.
It certainly is, and he will probably enjoy that because as much as he started a little bit further back, he's also been able to work his way up. Let's take a look at your starting grid for this evening's race of the Hold Your Brakes Academy. We just mentioned it. The 13 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. Revved Up Racing Chevy is on pole. Joe Thomas in the 218 is to his outside, starting second. Robert Miners in the 53 starting third. Timothy Presley in the 30 will start fourth. William Martin in the 55 TBS Gaming Big Boy Racing Machine will roll off fifth. And Kelly Akron in the 19 JMR Racing will sit sixth. Tyler Martin in the 00 out of Carolina will roll off seventh. Ryan Perone Senior, your points leader in the 50, will start eighth. Steve Harrison in the 51 will start ninth. And Aaron Genske in the 115 will roll off 10th. Drafty?
Coming in 11th is going to be the 57 of Thomas Osborne, and to his outside in 12th place, the 94 of Robert Altman. In 13th place is going to be the 70 of Don King, and to his outside, his son in the number 60, Shane King. Coming in 15th is going to be David Chapman Jr. driving the 88. And driving the 77 to his outside in position 16 is going to be Zach White. Gary Sigelkow in the 25 will roll off 17th. And starting 18th, Andrew B. Jones, which I believe is a new driver.
New driver, I do believe, for race 7. Gonna feel it out last couple weeks, maybe, or maybe he's just keen on Atlanta Motor Speedway. Aaron Genske in the chat as well. Probably didn't want to. I don't know what you're referring to there, but now you're on track, so I'm assuming probably won't be texting and driving. It's illegal in 48 states, Aaron. Anyway, we're going to have to keep a close eye here early, Drafty, on the two Kings Drafty, geez. Shane and Don King, the 70 and the 60. They like to mix it up there, father and son, don't they?
Oh yeah, they're always they're racing hard all the time. They don't know how to let up, that's for sure. They're always trying as hard as they can to get to the front, and you get them together. As we see the iRacing.com pace car dip into pit lane, will hop up with Barney. And the green flag is out for the first time here. And the Hold Your Brakes Academy, week 7 at Atlanta. Oh, and they're wrecking. Not even one lap in. And we have our first caution. Go back and see what happened there. We were getting the sounds of NASCAR. And we saw the wreck coming in. Let's see here. Looking back with the 115 of Aaron Genske. Oh, okay. 53. Oh, my gosh. That was a hard hit there.
Certainly was. And unfortunately, from that view, it looked like maybe a tap. And then all of a sudden, that nasty net code just got both of them. And Drafty, that was about as gnarly of net code as we've seen in a while here.
Yeah, let's take a closer look at it here. So it looks like maybe the 30 was thinking about going 3 wide. Oh, goodness. Unfortunate. 53 definitely going to need to get a fast repair. Major damage on that car. That is unfortunate. That is Robert Miner, the driver of the 53.
Yeah, Robbie Minor, not the way he would have wanted to start this one. Of course, he did win the last race at Atlanta when we were here a mere 4 weeks ago. Drafty, to me, man, lap one, the tires are cold. It's going to be slick. You got to let them warm up. I don't quite understand the choice there to try to push it 3 wide on lap one.
Yeah, it's really not necessary. You got an hour's worth of racing. There's plenty of time to get the move done. The only thing that happened there was, a wreck happened. Unfortunately, some people now are gonna lose some positions. Robbie Minor's still in pit. I don't know if he'll get out before they come around. He might end up going a lap down here before the first lap was even completed.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to get out there in time. But we know Robbie, Drafty, and he's a very patient driver, very low key, always keeps his cool. He knows it's so early that, of course, he didn't want to be in a wreck, but he's also got plenty of time to maybe not only get a lucky dog or two and put himself in position to win near the end.
Yeah, and if that's the way these guys are going to be driving tonight, we will definitely be seeing more cautions.
100%. David Chapman Jr. in the 88 down pit road as well. That might be a damage check or a fuel play. We'll have to see how that plays out as far as his pit time. Didn't see him involved in that caution, did you?
I did not. We'll have to see. Looks like he's getting some tires as we see the car being hoisted in the air. Interesting choice.
Potentially, yeah, that might have been an accident, but I'd have to believe it at least at first was a fuel decision, especially you start in the back, right? So much time left, but we've seen it before in this league. We don't know, you never know how long that green flag run is going to be, but it's not based off laps. If you roll off a 30-minute green flag run, you're going to obviously run a lot more laps than say you come in knowing the whole race is scheduled for 60 laps, right?
I agree. Yeah. It's you never know how many laps you're going to get.
Yeah, who knows? So maybe the intent there was fuel and put himself in an early advantage with the pit cycle. Not sure. We're working lap 3 here as the pace car dives off pit road. Draft, you'll take us back to green.
All right, Barney says we're going to try to get these guys going one more time. Green's out, and they're away. Let's take on the sights and sounds of NASCAR, hopefully without any wrecks this time. All right, one lap complete. Ledesma Jr. still out front with the 55 of William Martin right behind him.
Yeah, Drafty, looks like everyone has kind of settled down after that initial caution there. No 3 wide, a little bit 2 wide further back in the field, but Jorge Ledesma continuing to lead.
Right now, it does not look like that outside line has any momentum. Ledesma is actually able to keep a bit of distance between the car behind him for now. See them coming
all spread out there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was about to say the same thing. They just got a bit spread out there. Starting to group back up, but Ledesma Jr. is looking very solid. Oh, we got someone dipping way down onto the apron there. See him.
That was going to be the 57 of Thomas Osborne, who jumped out of line, and unfortunately, I think now he has lost the draft, it would appear.
I would assume so, once you dip down like that. Oh, he's got a buddy there with him. They'll be able to catch back up.
That's lucky for the 57. Oh, his caution is out. Smoke on the camera, holy smokes, our whole field.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. All right, let's try and. Ooh, that is a big one here, folks, at Atlanta. Let's go back and take a look at this. See if this is the right point here. Oh, it looks like Kelly might have got a little loose. Came down collecting almost everybody there. Top 4 or 5 cars make it through. Like the 25 is able to make it through unscathed. Few other cars able to make it through no damage. But yeah, looks like Kelly just got loose in front of the field there. Unfortunate.
Yeah, really unfortunate, not only for the 19 and everyone involved, of course, but the fact that it was, I mean, he was running basically second at that point, naturally being caught up, right in front of the field, going to involve a lot of people. Now, the two guys that did luck out from that the most, I would say, the 57 of Thomas Osborne and the 88 of David Chapman Jr. They fell back a little bit, were able to avoid that whole mess.
Oh, speaking of mess, we got a little bit of a mess on pit road here. Let's see what happens. We come through. Oh, no. All right, we've got the 60 of Shane King coming to his pit box here. Oh, and gets rear-ended by the 115. That's unfortunate. So, a little bit of action on pit road here, fellas. Or ladies and gentlemen, sorry.
Interesting, and I'm glad you saw that, Drafty. That could play a big part, right? Because if you go in to these pits and you expect, hey, you know what? I'm just going to check the damage, get a little bit fixed here and there, and you're not ready for your fast repair, and then all of a sudden, entering your pit box, you encounter another incident that could change everything.
Yeah, that is the worst place to have to incur damage, honestly. That's where it should not happen. That's where you go to fix your damage. So yeah, unfortunate there involving the 115 of Aaron Genske and the 60 of Shane King.
Certainly is. There's now more cars down pit road. That's going to be the 55 of William Martin and the 115 of Genske back down. Probably a play here for Genske attempting not to use his fast repair, I would assume.
That's the only thing I think of. He took a little bit of repairs, went back out on the track, went around trying to not go a lap down.
It looked like that time he elected to use it. Maybe got out there and realized, hey, too much damage without using the fast repair. Gotta bite the bullet and put it to work.
Yeah, unfortunate is we still have just under 50 minutes yet to go. So there's still a lot of race. So gotta keep it clean now from here on out.
And for our viewers at home and myself, Drafty, how many fast repairs these guys got on them?
I thought it was 1.
Was it 1? I mean, folks, we are so busy these days with broadcasting 3 nights in a row and then our own racing that they all kind of just start mixing together by this point in the season. But we do the best we can and keep on rolling, right?
Just looked it up. It is 2 fast repairs. So anyone who has used 1 still has another 1 left. And we are green flag once again here at Atlanta. Jorge Ledesma Jr. gonna lead us off into turn 1. A big gap here. Jorge out to a great start.
Oh my goodness.
Yellow flag out again. 3rd time in what, 10 minutes? 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think these boys might be getting a little overconfident. We'll have to see what happens here. Just unfortunate there. Looks like the 55 had a killer run. 30 moved up. He had the plenty of space to. 55 was trying to shoot on the outside of him there. So he might have tapped the wall, got the car a little loose, and ends up collecting him there.
Certainly did. Pretty easy one to diagnose there. While we have a couple minutes here with that fairly simple caution, let's get the 13 of, well, never mind, I suppose. The 13 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. is not in voice chat for an interview.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So disregard that, folks. Derek in the chat, holy cow, it's Drafty Beef. Yeah, he's back again. And then he says, ouch, that was to the last caution. Not this most recent one, but yeah, hard licks.
Sir, third caution here this evening. Still a lot of race left to go. Hopefully everyone can kind of get a groove going here and get some green flag laps in. I know as frustrating as it is for everyone at home to watch, a bunch of pacing, these drivers also are frustrated as well because it is just as equally boring in the car.
It certainly is, and we've been there too many times before. Drafty, let's analyze the start we just saw from Jorge Ledesma Jr. on that restart. He got out to a really big jump, which that's one thing this track will function a little bit differently with than the other super speedways. Jumping out to a big lead like that could be massive here at Atlanta.
Yeah, even though this track does drive more like a super speedway, it still kind of has that almost intermediate type feel to it because you can pull away from a group behind you if you're running more solid than the guys behind you. You don't require the draft as much, but now if you got two guys that are drafting together that can run solid, they're going to catch down that front car still.
Yeah, if they can get organized, then they certainly would. Now, another thing that comes into play with these three very quick cautions, you wouldn't think without a lot of green flag runs at a track like this that you're gonna wear your tires or waste them, for example. But with these cautions, there are heat cycles, right, Drafty? The tires are heating up and then they're cooling down. And now it's happening consistently. That can ruin a set of tires, right?
Yeah, it can definitely, especially if it happens a lot here. Now we had a green flag run. They might be a little bit more, the tires might be a little bit more compromised than if they had just been going green flag this entire time. We'll have to see how it plays out, see how the cars look, if they get loose. So far the only car we saw loose so far was the 19. And it kind of just looked like he got a little arrow loose there. I don't think it was anything with tires.
It certainly did look like the air affected him. Folks, all the way back now, already 13th is showing a lap down. So those guys going to hope for more cautions, I would believe. Robbie Minor must have forgot to check the fast repair, showing 11 down at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunate night for Robert Minor. Over before it even began, as we see the iRacing.com pace car dip into pit lane. Barney's ready to go. The green flag's out once again at New Atlanta. Let's hear him go around. All right, another lap in the books. Green flag. The 13 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. still commanding lead out front. Another great start, just like last time. I know he's hoping now that just no cautions happen and he can just stay out front here and ride.
We definitely know Jorge Ledesma Jr. wants a long green flag run. The gap, someone's loose. That's going to be Tyler Martin. Hold it together, buddy.
He's able to keep it going. Still green flags. See a couple cars on the apron, not by choice back there.
That was rough. I was about to say, the other person that would like a green flag run to keep going, Gary Sigelkow. He's in second place right now in that bright yellow 25. He's already up 15 spots.
Yeah, he has been cruising. I know he would love to get a win tonight. But here is the man on top of the leaderboards as far as points, the number 15, Orion Perot Sr., already sniffing on the leader's tail. So now we see the 25 looking to the outside of the 13. Can he get it done?
A big thing here for Ledesma Jr. is to manage the tires and not try to fight too hard, but he is in the better spot to do so right now on that bottom side, as it looks like he's going to beat Sigelkow off the corner and hold on to the lead for now.
He's able to hold on to it for now, although the 50 now has got some company from the 00 of Tyler Martin. He was right on his bumper there. I thought maybe they would have been able to get a run up, but they spread back out here a little bit.
They did indeed. The race for the lead, though, has become awfully crowded. Is now Ryan Perone Sr. and the two DumpsterToday.com boys join the fight.
And we're starting to see a lot more action up here at the front. The 25 and the 13 still side by side. I believe the 25 was able to lead that lap on the outside lane. Now the 60 moves up to third place. Running up high, looks like it might be starting to get some traction and speed up there.
Jorge Ledesma Jr. not going down without a fight, as now he's got the 60 of Shane King nearly right on his back bumper, looking for some help potentially to fight off the 25 is Ledesma Jr.
And we saw the 115 was peeking his nose up there for a minute. It smacks the wall a little bit. Is now dropping back. As the 60 takes over second place, 25 slides up the track a bit, loses some speed.
Other story to follow, you'll see that bright yellow and gold 19 right behind the 25 of Sigelkow. That's Kelly Akron. He's a lap down, fighting the hard way to get his lap back from Shane King, who would be the lucky dog recipient if it went caution at this moment.
That's it. Not only we got battles for the lead, we got battles to be the lucky dog. And man, some of these, I think we'll definitely see another caution a little bit as these cars start to lose their grip. I see them slipping and sliding a little bit already.
One thing I can say right now, Drafty, is it looks like they're all driving the heck out of it, and maybe wearing those tires down is now the 19 and 25 get into it. Sigelkow may not be happy about a lap car running up there in the top 5.
Ah, that was major contact. Props to the 25 for holding on to it and keeping it out of the wall. Looks like he's able to just keep it right down in there. Unfortunately, back now a few positions. A lot of race left, though. He'll be able to get back up there, I'm sure.
On a race left, Ryan Perone Sr.'s fell a couple spots. Now the 00 of Tyler Martin puts the pressure on Jorge Ledesma Jr. He bounces to the outside. He'll look there into one.
Can he get it done now? Both these lanes have been running pretty decent for this main group here. A lot of side-by-side action.
Looks like Tyler Martin has put up the best fight to Ledesma Jr. thus far, but Ledesma Jr. battles back out of 4. Look out, Sigelkow's loose. He's below the apron. Keep it straight, everybody.
Ooh, boy, that had me a little nervous there, too, especially when the 70 followed him down. That scared me. I'm glad they were able to keep that one moving, though, and recover it.
They have been doing very well this green flag run, folks. 3 cars that are a lap down are racing with the top 5. They're all attempting to get their lap back the old school way or be the lucky dog. And where one goes, you have to follow.
I see a lot of drivers having a little bit of issue there in the quad oval, but I think that's where, if we see the next wreck, that's where it's going to be.
25 of Sigelcow looking to clear those lapped cars and maybe get out of the Hornets' nest just a little bit, as now he goes up and we see a couple cars bounce off the wall a little bit further back.
It looks like Shane King might have been one of them that, just tapped the wall, but sometimes it just sucks you up to it like a vacuum, and you really have to get off the gas to break that suction and get going again. Oh, as we see the 25 and 19 getting to each other. Oh! Now the 13 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. and the 25 somehow involved. Let's go back and look at that one. It started with the 25 and the 19. Oh, Jorge got loose. It's 25 is blinking. I don't know, maybe that was something where you didn't quite see him when he rejoined. What's your take on that one, Josh?
So I think the 13 just got loose, and then like you said, maybe the 25 just blinked, and Ledesma Jr. thought he was cleared. Fortunately for both these guys, probably have a faster pair left because they weren't involved in the first 3 cautions. Unfortunately for these guys, they were both running up front. Now, what's going to be interesting about this, Drafty, since they were involved in the caution and those guys that were a lap down were right behind them, did they get past them before the caution came out? I don't think they did, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. As who is this now getting the lucky dog? Looks like that's the 70 of Don King getting the wave around.
I think he did end up passing Shane King on that incident where Shane had maybe touched the wall just a little bit, and really, really tough break for Akron. He was the lead car in all those guys that were a lap down, but he was involved in an incident at the same time that caution came out, and so he loses the lucky dog right there. All that work for nothing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The 70 Shane or Don King, super happy, I'm sure, but one man's misfortune and is another man's fortune.
That's right, but I do have to say, Drafty, I'm pretty excited that we got at least one car back on the lead lap. I mean, we are already down to 6 cars being a lap down, and after a green flag pit cycle, a couple more incidents, I mean, that could have really, really created a small group of guys on the lead lap, I mean, halfway through this race if it had continued.
Yeah, no, it's always good to get some more cars back on the lead lap. It's approaching the halfway mark. We had a good green flag run there, but as this time starts to wind down, we'll see some more aggression, and I'm sure we'll have another caution before the end of this one yet.
I mean, if we didn't, I'd be really impressed for any series that we call 34, 35 minutes green flag racing at that point. So that would be impressive. Don't think it's going to happen just because it looks like these cars out here are loose. They're all really, really battling hard. Might go back to what I said in the pre-race show, Drafty, where these drivers know as much as we do and the viewers at home, it's desperation time. We got 2 races left in this series.
Yeah, it's now or never. You need to get as many points as you can. You got this race and one more, and that's it. That's all she wrote for the first season here at Hold Your Brakes Academy.
Yeah, it's flying by, man. Mentioned that a couple times. Now, your biggest mover and shaker right now on the evening, the 77 of Zach White, our winner from last week, Talladega. Good to see him doing well. Man, we had an interview with him after last week's race. You could sense and truly feel the excitement and joy that he had to get that win last week.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, there's nothing like a league win, especially your first one, and it's just, it's great. I remember mine. It's been over a year, but I remember it. But the iRacing.com pace car is in pit lane. Barney's ready to wave that green flag. One more time. Here we go. Green at Atlanta. And Tyler Martin in the 00's gonna lead that one with the 50. Ryan Perone right on his tail. And you cannot count out the 30 of Timothy Presley still hanging tough up front.
Drafty, I'll tell you what, these last 2 weeks, those Black Rifle Coffee Company boys are putting on an absolute clinic. Now we have the 00 of Tyler Martin and the 30 of Timothy Presley running 1-2. That sounds familiar to last week for about 30 laps, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Ryan Perone Sr., though, your points leader, he is hunting them down and stalking them. You know something I'm surprised about, Drafty, we see now the 19 of Akron in the wall back near the back. I'm surprised we didn't see any more cars besides the 2 that were involved in that caution come down pit road last time by.
Yeah, everyone must be feeling pretty good about how much gas they're holding right now. About, halfway through this race now. Maybe they're hoping to just run this out and only have to pit one more time, if at all.
Yeah, maybe. Risky business for sure is now to the outside for fourth position. That's going to be Thomas Osborne in the 57 as he blinks away for just a second.
Oh, giving me a heart attack. It's all right. He's able to keep it going.
Jorge Ledesma Jr. in that 13, already back up to 5th. You know he's bad fast when he can start at the tail end of the field and already be up to 5th spot.
I know was looking to get back up there. Now he's here. Hopefully now I'm sure he drove the heck out of that car to get up there. Maybe burned up a little tires. So now that he's here, maybe he's thinking, let's just ride here for a little bit, see what happens, and hopefully he can get a green flag run and start picking him off.
Tell you what, Drafty, Timothy Presley and Jorge Ledesma Jr., that probably worked out, as silly as it is to say, to be involved in an accident, because they both went down pit road on lap 29. That's when the caution was. If they were smart, they got tires, they got fuel. Now they can save, and they're already in a better situation. As now Osborne is loose. He saves it, though.
Boy, it threaded the needle to not collect anybody else there. So we see the 19 in the wall once again coming out of the quad oval. Our 2 leaders have a decent gap now to 3rd place, as now the 25, unfortunately, a lap down. Gary Sigelkow looking to keep ahead of the 60 of Shane King to hopefully get that lucky dog if there is another caution.
He's fighting hard for Tyler Martin, last pit stop, lap 9. Timothy Presley, last pit stop, lap 29. Those are teammates, folks. We'll see how that plays out. Shane King, though, on the outside, working hard.
Yes, sir. He's looking to get back up there, get on the lead lap here before all this time runs out. So he's hoping to be able to get in front of the 25. Oh, as the 25 gets loose, that's exactly what Shane wanted. almost the same exact thing that happened to Osborne 1 lap prior.
We're starting to see some really, really nice driving here recently. A lot of guys getting loose, but everyone behind them avoiding. Those guys being able to get it down to the apron and then save it.
Yeah, they've been doing really good on the recoveries. It's crazy to see these cars getting so loose. But I mean, proud of these guys for holding on to it, keeping it going.
Akron and King continue to fight potentially for that lucky dog position. Akron had it locked up last caution and unfortunately found his own incident. But the Black Rifle Coffee boys continue to lead, but they're being chased down by your pole sitter, Jorge Ledesma Jr. in the 13. Oh.
As we have another lap here, the 00 in the lead still. But Jorge Ledesma Jr., 3rd place now, knocking on the door, these boys saying, hey, oh no! We saw the 30 get loose. Oh, unfortunately, enough to knock Jorge Ledesma Jr. down on the apron and no caution. That is, oh, poor Jorge.
Man, you know what? He just seems to find it anywhere that he goes. And I got to say, man, I have never seen Jorge Ledesma on absolute rails like we have tonight.
Yeah, he is so fast. And just now he's just a 2 very unlucky. The first time he got loose, and this time just unlucky. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it was, however, I was Tyler Martin
Someone's...
just blinked out of existence here.
Oh, he certainly is, and it's causing big problems now as his teammate was involved.
Oh, here he's back.
Something. Now he's back. Interesting.
Yeah, he definitely was gone off the track for a good 10-15 seconds. The 30, apparently we saw him go down the track. So I see him blinking as well now on my timing score. Oh, the 19 and the 60 battling hard for be the first car in the lead lap here.
Right now, Drafty, if a caution came out, those two boys are relieved as all get out as they both go back to being officially on the lead lap and start at the tail end of the field. They're both trying to hang on right now.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the leader behind them, which would make Robert Altman, as long as they stayed ahead of the leaders, Robert Altman would be our lucky dog candidate. We get 3 cars back on the lead lap.
He's another one hoping right now that a caution comes out that doesn't involve him. Man, that would be wild, wouldn't it? 3 cars back on the lead lap from 1 caution.
That would be quite wild. As we see now, though, we'll have to see how long that Martin stays behind. These 2 cars are there in last place.
He looks to be really nice and patient right now. I mean, no reason to really battle him. Might as well sit back there and save some tire and let him pull you around a little bit, I have to think.
Yeah, both lanes are clogged up. So anyone that's coming to the outside there, they got the same thing you deal with, you know? So a lot of 23 minutes left. I wouldn't push the issue quite yet.
I definitely wouldn't either. Is that black and white car on your outside, folks, is the 53 of Robbie Minor. He does not factor into this in any scenario, unfortunately for him. Early incident and multiple laps down.
So we see now single file up front. Now that's going to leave that outside lane open to possibly get past the 00 and take away the lead if anyone could get up there by him. Next closest position is the 50 of Ryan Perrone. Oh, we got a little action here between the 60 and the 19. 19 of Akron down on the apron, has to drop all the way back.
That's exactly what Akron did not want to see, but I will be honest, that's probably what the leaders wanted to see. Those guys battling hard, rightfully so. I mean, anybody's race still early, but the last thing the leaders would want is a lap car incident right in front of them, right?
Yeah, you don't want it, you know, they get wrecked out by 2 lap cars battling. As a leader, I can tell you that is frustrating.
It certainly is. The 60 of Shane King, though, showing just how fast and how good he can be if he happens to get on the lead lap. Meanwhile, these guys right behind him are thinking, man, please don't let him stay on the lead lap, because then he's another competitor we got to look out for down the stretch.
Yeah, anything can happen here. Still got 22 minutes left. Everyone seems to be really chill right now. Everyone's pretty much single file. Few cars up on the outside, but you're just basically battling the car in front of you, and it almost has that intermediate track feel, but you're moving at super speedway speeds.
Right, it's very spread out now. One of the reasons, though, I'm going to speculate here, Drafty, we don't actually know the numbers. Everyone's single file. Do you think we're getting ready to see some potential green flag pit stops here?
You know, it is possible depending on who took fuel. We have some drivers have yet to pit. Andrew B. Jones and Joe Thomas have yet to pit. A few drivers that pit on lap 8 or 9 as well. So they may be coming close to pit. I know we don't have a lap. I wish it would show me around the time frame that they pitted, but they are the furthest ones out as far as length of not pitting.
Yeah, so the 2 leaders, Tyler Martin / potentially Jarrett Martin and Ryan Perone Sr., both pitted on lap 9. That's very similar to the rest of the field, with the exception of William Martin and Jorge Ledesma Jr., also David Chapman Jr., all pitted on lap 29. So those guys, 2 long green flag runs, Drafty, they might be flirting with green flag pit stops here.
You know me, I love me some green flag pit stops, so it'd be cool to see. And now not too much action. Going back here a little bit, too wide. Some lap cars, the 19 of Akron looking to make his way back up the field. Let's go on board with second place of Ryan Perone Sr. here, as he's trying to catch up to that 00.
Such a great shot here with the gyro cam, Drafty. One of my favorite moments of every race at a super speedway. You can truly see not only a sense of the speed, but definitely the angle on these corners.
Yeah, these tracks have high banked corners, so these drivers can keep all this speed through it. But it is crazy. I was, imagine trying to walk up it, or I've always wanted to like take a sled in wintertime if any of these tracks had snow on them ever, and make a little jump at the bottom. But that's a different story.
And we can take a look here as we do still watch the 50 of Ryan Perone Sr. in car cam. On the straightaways, he's up to about 7,500 to 8,000 RPMs on the dash, as you can see there. Drafty, he's only slowing to just about 7,000 through the corner. As you said, he's maintaining a ton of speed here.
Yes, he is. We look up, I bring up the miles per hour here. He's about 165 miles an hour in the corners. And trying, not much of a slowdown, as you can see, as they're only getting up to about 172 in the straight. So we'll hop back out here and take a look at some of the action going on. You see,
let's give a brief rundown. Sorry, Drafty.
Oh, go ahead. Give us a rundown.
Let's give a brief rundown of your top 10. Tyler Martin / potentially Jarrett Martin continues to lead in the 00. Ryan Perone Sr., your points leader, is second place. William Martin in the 55 runs third. Zach White up 12 spots, still your biggest mover in the 77, running fourth. Thomas Osborne in the 57 rounds out your top 5. Drafty?
Steve Harrison in the 51 and 6th place, and 7th is going to be David Chapman Jr. in the 88. 8th place is the 218 of Joe Thomas, and 9th place, the 13th of Jorge Ledesma Jr., and rounding out your top 10 is going to be the 9 of Andrew B. Jones.
That's a cool looking 9 car, man. That Andrew B. Jones. Whew.
I like
Take
it.
another look at that one.
Let's get a look. There's not much action going on. Look at that. Awaken Creations. That is a sharp looking ride. Looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage, just a little caved in, but looks
Damage
good.
on the rear end of that number 9 Camaro as well. But yeah, I'm with you. Awesome looking paint. I was just gonna say, sometime during post race or caution, we could get a word with him. You won't guess. He's not in the voice chat. Everyone I want to talk to tonight is not available, apparently.
Everyone's getting pretty spread out here. Shane King. Oh, we got a car hard into the wall back there. No caution. Who was that?
I think that was Robbie Minor. Unfortunately,
Oh, it was.
just caught a quick glance of it. Fortunately for the rest of the field, / unfortunately, potentially, he went to the inside, slammed the wall all by his lonesome, and we stay green here. 16 minutes to go. Drafty, we have to be getting close to green flag pit stops. These guys are probably bleeding it dry if possible.
Yeah, right. I mean, it sucks not knowing how much time they get per fuel run, but if they're gonna pit, it's man, you gotta make sure you pit with somebody. You don't want to pit on your own.
That's right. Is now the sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, it might not be that big of a deal actually, as we look at the 60 and the 00, not really doing much drafting, staying ahead of the pack behind them.
That's true. Is now the 55 of William Martin. Gets slight pressure from the 57 of Thomas Osborne, but they all go back single file. And Drafty, this is the most interesting layer to the onion to pull back, if you will, is we started this race with back-to-back cautions. I mean, barely made a lap green, right? And now we've had 2 very nice, long, clean runs, and you just can't expect that. And these guys haven't pit since very early.
Yeah, the only William Martin pitted lap 29. He'd be I mean, if that was enough and he doesn't need to pit again, that would be a great strategy for him. He could possibly pull away a win since Ryan Perone Sr. and Martin have pit on lap 9. So he's got 20 more laps of fuel than they do. And that might be enough to get it done.
Yeah, and it's such a challenging thing. I mean, if I were them, right, you have to expect that every moment, every next lap, right, they're taking a look at their lap times and thinking, okay, fuel says I have X amount left. My laps are taking me this long under green. Okay, I think I'm good, or, oh man, I'm in a bad spot here now.
Yeah, you know, and looking at the last lap times here, our leader, Martin, his last lap time was a 32.57. Perone Sr., 32.52. So slightly quicker, but, you know, I'm sure they're watching their lap times and watching how much fuel that they use per lap and trying to gauge that with, you know, how many minutes are left. You got to do a little bit of math while you're driving here.
Right, that would be just over 2 laps a minute, basically, which means roughly 28 to 30 laps remaining. We've driven these cars a lot, Drafty. I don't think anyone's going to be good for fuel all the way to the end.
No, I do think we'll see some pit stops before this is over.
They have to just be dragging it out and praying and hoping like nobody's business that they get a caution here, but the more spread out this field gets, the less likely it gets to get that caution, I have to believe.
Yeah, not till the end anyway, until someone's trying to make a move. But yeah, with how it's spread out, everyone's got all the space they need. Their theory shouldn't be any cautions unless someone makes a mistake. Which is bound to happen. No one's perfect. Oh, as we see, just as I say it, Osborne got loose there, able to save it down on the apron, stay in green flag. We got a little bit of lap traffic now. Coming up on the 115, Aaron Genske.
And Drefty, that's exactly what a spread out field allows for. We saw the 57 get loose in front of a couple cars there. Early on in this race, they would have all been stacked up and no one would have had anywhere to go. This time, everyone was able to maneuver safely, including the 57 of Osborne, to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, it was. We do have a car nose in the wall here. It looks like that's the 30 of Timothy Presley. No caution, though, since he is down on the apron.
Sure, he's going to try to put that thing in reverse and get it back going here. It was going so well for Presley, and then the wheels just kind of fell off, no pun intended. But been a rough go. This green flag run for the 30 of Presley, unfortunate to see.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go back and take a look and see what happened when there isn't much action going on the track. We can't, maybe he just... Yep, just got loose, looks like. Not able to save it. Ooh, he tried. And so close. Almost had her. Hard contact with the inside wall. Unfortunate. Let's jump back to the action here.
Shane King, Drafty, if he didn't go a lap down very early, he would have just led probably the last 15, 20 laps of this race.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got to be just frustrated right now. He's out here, quote unquote, winning, but not, because he's technically in 11th place, but fighting to stay on the lead lap, trying to keep the leader behind him.
And every minute that goes by for the 60 of Shane King, he gets a little bit more, I wouldn't say upset, but maybe discouraged, right? Because sure, he's on the lead lap, but if a yellow comes out, now he's going to start at the tail end of the field in this scenario, and he'd have to work back all that ground in less time.
Yeah, time's running out for that to happen, because not only does the caution need to happen, they need to get their pacing done and take the green flag before time runs out.
Of course, the 00 of Tyler Martin probably absolutely loving this, because Shane is allowing him to probably save some fuel, save some tires, and he's just kind of cruising along.
Yeah, Martin's got to be loving it. You know, he's able to get a little bit of draft from the 60 of King, not use up as much gas, and not have to drive as hard.
That's right. William Martin in the 55, the two Martins in the field. I don't believe any relation, but they are top three. Ryan Perone Sr. in the 50 sits in between them and having another really, really strong run tonight.
Yeah, great. You know, he's been solid all season, up front every race. Has had no bad luck. Just half a super speedway racing.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. As Thomas Osborne has been caught by Steve Harrison in the 51. That's just slightly behind this group. Not any action right now. It doesn't look like 51 still trying to work on maybe making a move there.
Yeah, if he's faster, he's got a little bit more tire, wants to get back up to that main group there and start becoming a contender. They both do, I'm sure.
Ironically, as much as racers hope for green flag, look out, 115. Woo, man, that got close. As much as they hope for green flag runs, and that's exactly what I was just going to say. Everyone at this moment is probably hoping for a yellow, and there we have it with 7:40 remaining in this race.
I'm not sure. Did the 115 bring that out? I'm not seeing anything on my timing about what made that happen.
Not quite sure. I do see smoke there on the speedway, but no remnants of a car that may have spun or got loose to cause that. I wouldn't think the 115 going into the wall like that would have caused it. So he kept going.
Yeah, he kept going. Caution's already out right here. Let's see if I can find. We got a little bit of already some smoke there. So, oh, is that the 30? That looks like. Let's see what happened with him. $30 and the 25 here. Wow, now that's some terrible net code.
Looked like it. If that was
Oh.
truly netcode, take another look here.
I don't think he got loose. He looks pretty solid right now. Yeah.
My goodness.
Criminy. Netcode strikes again.
I mean, that's 3-4 feet netcode.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh my goodness.
Holy smokes. That is wild. As we take a good look at the rear end of the Black Rifle Coffee Company Ford Mustang number 30 of Timothy Presley, the victim of really, really bad netcode. And folks, as real as this can be, and as much as us as drivers like to, brag about the fact that we can do this for money and it's a hobby and we can do it with our friends and all the things, that, folks, is one of the negative parts about the simulator.
Yeah, nothing more frustrating than netcode. You should be able to race wheel to wheel with somebody. But unfortunately, it's just a thing in iRacing. People having different connection rates and their servers receiving data and all that fun stuff creates it.
Now, interesting here, Drafty. We saw him just pit. Oh my gosh. Let me start over. We saw them just pass pit road, the leaders, when I say they, and nobody elected to go down pit road.
Yeah, we got a bunch of lap cars up in front here. Oh my gosh. So they're choosing to stay out, which that's going to shake up a bunch of stuff for sure.
That is interesting now because Shane King in the 60, he came down pit road along with a couple of his lapped friends. Shane King, of course, led last 15, 20 laps of that race to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. That's pretty cool to see. I'm really surprised, though, that then the other top 7, well, now Osborne is down, it says on the timing tower. No one else. Here we go. Couple guys down pit road. Okay, it's starting to make a little more sense now. Holy smokes. That would have been crazy, man. As old a tires as they were on?
Yeah. It would have been surprising. I'm not sure what that was all about.
Now, one move here I'd like to shout out. Jorge Ledesma Jr. electing not to go, at least it shows on the tower here, not going down pit road. He's been the fastest, hands down, all evening. Even after that wreck, got back up into 8th prior to the caution. I got to be honest with you, it's still showing Ryan Prone Sr., Martin, and Zach White at the top of the board. I feel like something's silly here with
No, they still got into pit and out of pit, I believe, before the pace car came back around.
Right, but if those guys behind them,
Oh,
such as Martin, Harrison, Ledesma Jr. even, wouldn't they had gone up to the top of the board?
yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like iRacing may be having an issue because they were too wide, and then they extended the caution. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
Interesting here. Now, Drafty, one thing we'll have to remind each other of is as soon as this clock hits 0, that's the end of the race. I don't think it's white flag.
No, it becomes white flag. You get whatever you finish up the lap that you're on.
Okay, last week with the 77 of Zach White, there was still time on the board. It looked like, but then race was over. I don't know. I still admittedly have a tough time with this hour time frame stuff, and it makes it tricky for us as far as calling not only the end of the race, but then the pit cycles, fuel strategy, all those things. So I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out here.
Now we do see the lights off on the iRacing.com pace car. They are not lined up double file up front. All sorts of issues going on here. 1:10 seconds left. So this is gonna be the last time we take the green flag. Regardless.
Yeah, maybe some sort of issue with scoring and race control letting them know, hey, stay where you're at. We're gonna wave black flags. But I mean, regardless, still, like you said, very unorganized here, very late. And I mean, we're approaching 0 here. Are they just calling this one? And
Well, it looks like the pace car's dipping down. They still got 30 seconds before it hits 0. I believe they'll get this green flag off here.
Green.
The green flag is dropping.
very interesting. We're going to have to get with somebody in post race and see what happened there, because now we're all mixed up.
Yeah, I'm still showing Tyler Martin as the race winner. Or race leader. Jesus. Time now has expired. I am not sure how it's going to score this one. Apologize about this, folks. We will update you as soon as we know.
There's the checkered flag. I mean, we're still, our program, not often wrong, have to believe this one is more so on iRacing. These guys are continuing to race now.
They are still going here, racing back to the line, I'd assume.
I wish we knew what was going on, because we can't make a call here at what's going on. I mean, the 60 just had the lead at the end of that lap, as now we see them slowing on through 1 and 2, but nothing updated for us. There was no communication of what was happening there. I'm really, really unsure, and we apologize at home, folks, that we couldn't call that one with the excitement that we normally would.
Let's see if we can get Shane in here to give us some insight of what happened there at the end.
Yeah, let's do that now. Shane King, Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's happening, Josh?
So second time we've talked to you tonight. We wanted to call that one with some excitement and knowledge, of course, but looked like a really screwy, confusing restart as a whole. What was going on there?
Yeah, I'm not. We're still trying to sort it out. So apparently the top three. So I drove my tail off to get to the tail end of the lead lap because apparently I lost a lap while I was pitting after that first wreck, and so I fought hard all race to try and get up there and get my lap back the hard way, and I did. But I think the top three followed me past the pace car, so now they're I
A
don't know.
lap
It's
up
it's
on the field, basically.
yeah, they were at the tail
Or
end of the field, but and then they they were black flagged right before we went green for being ahead of the pace car, and then the blacks were cleared. So I I'm not 100.
interesting deal there.
Yeah, it's gonna take some sorting out. I don't because I don't know. So I'm gonna have to go back and look because I have a feeling what happened was when that last yellow came out. My box on my screen immediately told me to pass the pace car because I was on the tail end of the lead lap, and I have a feeling what happened was those guys just followed me around the track instead of reading what their black box said. But there's some contention and everyone's looking for clarification, and I'm not 100% sure that I am. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the replay and see.
All right. Well, fair enough. You heard it here, guys, from the 60 of Shane King. A lot of confusion and issues there in that final restart. Shane, best of luck to you there, and good race tonight, man. Really fun to see you get your lap back the old school way. It's a shame that it finished the way it did, but we'll keep rolling with it as if the 00 got the win tonight. And you can tell us otherwise. I'm sure there's going to be a couple drivers not too happy about this one, though.
Yeah, there's already some race chats getting pretty heated because I don't think the blacks should have been cleared for those front three that that weren't that were ahead of the pace car. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna look at this and see. I'm gonna go back to when this caution came out and see if those guys passed the pace car with me. Because if they did, then they're in the wrong and they're gonna be relegated to the last cars on the lead lap because of the black flag that was cleared that shouldn't have been.
Fair enough. All right. Well, maybe some issues and punishment to come, but Shane, best of luck to you with that. We'll see you out here next week, sir. Good run tonight.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all, for the broadcast.
Yes, sir. Well, Drafty, that's a first for us, I would say.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to clarify that we are interviewing the unofficial top three of this race.
That's right. That's right. A lot of things could happen. Not quite sure. Let's start with the unofficial third place finisher. That's the 77 of Zach White. Zach, Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I have a copy.
Man, you are absolutely putting it together out there the last couple weeks. You finished our biggest mover on the field up 13 spots tonight. Of course, we all remember the big win last week at Talladega. How was the car feeling tonight for you?
It was feeling pretty good.
Hello? You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. There's a whole bunch mess up with the top three guys.
Yeah, that's fair. We just talked to the 60 of Shane King about what could be going on, but wanted to speak with you because you are our unofficial third place finisher. But we'll let you get back to that for now. We'll kind of see how things play out here in the next couple minutes, and maybe we'll talk to you again.
All right, that works.
All right, buddy. All right, folks. Well, a little bit change of plans here than normal. Normally, as you guys know, by this point in time, we'd be interviewing your top three, but a lot of issues there near the end. Drafty, I didn't see, I mean, we weren't paying attention about who came past the pace car. Obviously, that's not what we're looking at any given caution. But that is a really interesting scenario. Would definitely lead to some weird situation if that was to happen, right?
Yep. And from experience, this is exactly why when I run my races that it's iRacing flags, and if you get screwed, you get screwed. Unfortunately, it's just too risky to clear everybody's black flags because you never know. Kind of something like this happened, Now you really got to go back and look, and see did they pass the pace car, and creates a little bit of chaos here at the end.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. You, of course, one of the owners of your own league, and you also drive in that league. I mean, countless times you've been in a situation where you're trying to drive the race car, and also, I'm not saying these drivers, but some drivers can be very demanding when it comes to getting a black flag cleared. A lot of pressure, and you don't have time when you're driving the race car to go back and look at it and make sure it's the right thing to do or to uphold the black flag.
Yep, it's just you can't look at it while you're in the car. You really have to trust the person that's saying it, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can go about it too. I've heard the idea. There's an honor system, and if you have to go back and look afterwards, and they did, it wasn't honorable, then the penalty's more harsh and stuff like that. So there are other ways to do it. Me personally, it sucks for one, it sucks for all. There's been times, running just the iRacing flags. There's been times that I've been screwed, and it's the same for everybody. So
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've raced with you a long time in your league now, of course, broadcasting it, but I would say there were only once or twice over the lengthy period of time that I could legitimately say, "Oh man, I got screwed by a black flag or one thing or another, bogus penalty, whatever you want to say." Versus how many times it actually benefited me, the same system, right? If you mind your P's and Q's, you make sure you're not passing on pit road, and to Shane's point, you follow the instructions in your black box, you're gonna be all right most of the time.
yeah, as long as your black box is happy with you, you won't get a black flag.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, still trying to sort that out. We're not going to hang out all night to see what happens there, but let's go through the unofficial results that are on the left side in your timing tower there. Tyler Martin, your unofficial winner, may be Jarrett Martin, according to my co-host here. Ryan Prone Sr., your points leader, expanded the gap even further if he stays up front. He brings home second as of now. And Zach White in the 77 currently will sit third. We'll see how that plays out. Now, if something should happen, Drafty, with those three, like Shane was saying, that would mark Shane King as this evening's winner. That's going to be interesting to see how people take that. Nothing that Shane would do wrong, but, And then David Chapman Jr. being scored in the fifth spot. Jorge Ledesma Jr., really, really rough go there. Two things for Jorge Ledesma Jr., I would think here, Drafty. One, tough incident. He fought back, but that last caution, regardless of what happened after on the restart, that last caution, you got to take tires, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Fresh tires are going to help you. Yeah.
William Martin being scored as your seventh place finisher. Steve Harrison in eighth. Robert Altman brought home ninth, and Thomas Osborne rounds out your top 10, Drafty.
The 25 of Gary Sigelkow, we saw him running up front tonight. A little bit unfortunate accident. He's going to finish 11th. Also running up front, who just had an unfortunate night. Kind of got loose on his own once or twice. The 19 of Kelly Akron. Joe Thomas in the 218, finishing 13th place. Newcomer Andrew B. Jones in the number 9, finishing 14th, actually up 4 positions from where he started. So started dead last, finished 14th. Don King in the number 70, finishing 15th place. And in the 115, Aaron Genske finishing 16th. 17th, the number 30 of Timothy Presley. And rounding out the field, the 53, Robbie Minor. Very rough night for him. His night was over before it even began, unfortunately.
Yeah, got to believe that was the old forgot to check the fast repair before towing incident. We've all done it. Happens to the best of them, but tough break for the 53 there. Well, folks, let's take a brief break here, hear from a couple of our sponsors here at Royalty Racing Network, and we'll be right back with you on the post-race show. Stay with us. Welcome back, folks, on Royalty Racing Network. We're going to chat with the number 50 of Ryan Perone Sr., who sits at the top of the board in points with just one race to go. Ryan, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. So another good run tonight. I know some things going on with that. We'll kind of stay away from that. You had a good run as of now, being scored in the second spot. You came into tonight with a nice lead on the other 4 closest guys to you. Next week, final race, you're in a good position to win the inaugural championship of the Hold Your Brakes Academy. How do you feel going into iRacing Super Speedway one more time next week?
Feeling good. Just don't know what's going on for tonight, which I'm a little dissettled about, but I feel good. I ran good tonight. I had myself in a perfect position where I needed to be, and let's just hope it plays out right.
Yeah, I mean, I think next week, as long as you come out there and put together even a decent run, which we've seen from you all season so far, have to believe that you're definitely in a position where you're almost locked into that championship, even after tonight. Regardless what will happen, there were a lot of cars showing a lap down at the very least. So just wanted to get with you, Ryan, and see how you were feeling about it. You've had an awesome season, only one in the field week in, week out to have all top fives. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I never been in this position before, so yeah, it's cool. I'm happy the way I've been running, and I hope I can perform next week the way I've been.
Right on, man. Well, before we let you go, sir, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
Shout out to my family, of course, for allowing me to do this. My teammates at Lockwood Racing, and Cookies for Kids for Cancer. If you want to go donate, cookiesforkidsforcancer.org. Good cause. If I can't eat the cookies, you can still donate.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Always nice to chat with you, sir, and we'll see you back out there next week.
Same here, guys. You have a good evening. God bless America. God bless our troops. And please don't forget about our veterans, too.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. Once again, folks, that was your points leader, the 50 of Ryan Perone Sr. Drafty, a blemish on the record here of all good endings, basically, and low controversy.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled to the Discord to see what the official results are when they become official. Boy,
Yeah,
gonna be
we're
some.
certain.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
I was gonna say there's gonna be some broken hearts probably after this if it goes. If the unofficial results are not what they are to be.
Yeah, potentially so, for sure. I do see Jarrett Martin is back in, so let's grab him just briefly. Jarrett, this is Joshua up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, buddy.
All right, and remind me, man, you're being scored as the 00 Tyler Martin. Is that right?
10-4.
All right, we need Shane to get in there and change that name because it's throwing me off all season here, especially the last couple races. But Jarrett, as of right now, you got that 00 in victory lane. You're the unofficial winner of this evening's race. The car looked great all night. You were up front a good amount of the time. You finished up 6 spots. How's it feel to go out there and get a win tonight?
Oh, it feels amazing. I've been trying to look for a win all season in different leagues and just always came up short. Had mishaps. Um, Feels great. I'm kind of speechless. I can't thank my team enough for getting behind me. My sponsors, Procore Flooring or Procore Surfaces, Postma Flooring, Black Coffee or Black Rifle Coffee. I can't thank them enough for standing behind me. My family, they've sat in here and watched each and every race and cheered me on. And I know it's been heartbreak letting them watch me have mishaps and everything. But
They're in the chat almost every week, supporting you, rooting for you. And I will say tonight, coincidentally, haven't seen any comments saying, let's go Jarrett Martin, let's go Timothy Presley. Normally they're out in force, but I'm sure that they will enjoy watching this one back, especially if the results are held up. But Jarrett, if they are held up, I got to ask, is this your first league victory?
on iRacing, yes, this is my first ever league race win on iRacing, but I've had multiple others in and championships in other leagues such as NASCAR Heat 5 leagues and stuff like that, but never an iRacing league win. This will be my first ever.
All right. Well, iRacing is what we're referring to. So congratulations, sir, on your unofficial first league win. I'd love to, just say, hey, yeah, you got the win for sure, but I don't know what's going to go on, just like you or anybody else. So, but for now, go pop the champagne in Victory Lane and get the party started. You drove a heck of a race tonight, one way or another, and we'll see you out here next week, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
sir. Drafty, regardless the result, that's our third race in a row where we've had the pleasure of calling the race winner's first league win on iRacing. Isn't that cool, man?
Yeah, right? It's always cool. I love to see someone get their first win. There's nothing like it. Like it's awesome. I've only ever gotten one and I cherish it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's something you don't forget. And Jared, geez, that needs to be changed, man.
Yeah.
Jared is going to enjoy this one for sure. And wouldn't you know, right? The one that he doesn't have the family in there necessarily, and they may have been in, right? Not everyone stops in and chats, of course. People are busy, but the one that we're not hearing from his family and friends all night long is the one he stays out front and we get to call the win. I was looking down at the chat the whole time when him and Presley were out front. Hey, go Jarrett Martin, go Presley, but none of it tonight, but that's okay. Still enjoyable. And that's the beauty of this one. They're all recorded, so he can send it out to as many people as he wants now and see him get that win.
Yeah, and I mean, they might have just been so excited for what was going on. They didn't have the thought to even chat. They were just so hard rooting for him,
That could definitely be the case, man. Really, really wanted to get a word with Jorge Ledesma Jr. tonight. Not sure why he wasn't in the voice chat available, but easily fastest car on the speedway all night long, even after the incident.
Yeah, I mean, he was cruising all night.
He certainly was. Let's take a really quick look ahead at the last race of the season 1 next week comes to a close at iRacing Super Speedway. Our first race there, we saw a lot of really loose race cars, especially when they would get very close side by side on that outside lane. Do you expect a similar showing next week, or do you think these guys are going to have it a little bit more figured out and under control?
I really hope they have it figured out. Like, there's, it's got the bumps in the corners, kind of like the old Daytona track. That definitely shakes up the car, makes it, a little unhappy, a little unsettled. So everyone's got to account for that and predict that every single time they're going into the corners.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I mean, the benefit now is that they've all had at least one race on that speedway. So hopefully it will be better than race 1 there, especially since it's to close out the season. Atlanta, though, continues to prove as our best racetrack for nice racing. We started pretty rough tonight. I was starting to get hesitant of how it was going to be the rest of the way. But then they got it together for 2 really nice, really long green flag runs after those first 3 cautions.
Yeah, those nice green flag runs are quite enjoyable to watch. The field got spread out a little bit there. I think was part of the factor there. So I'd like to be able to see them do some side by side green flag runs. That would be a real joy to see.
I would certainly agree for sure. Well, we'll go ahead and close here. A little bit of skirmish and wildness there down the stretch and at the end and trying to figure out who to interview. But that's okay. It happens, right? We'll move on to the next one. Folks, we will be back here Wednesday night, Drafty and I together again for the SCS RA race Wednesday night. That's the Next Gen series. Looking forward to that one at Las Vegas. We got some cars in that one this week, Drafty.
Oh yeah, and Vegas is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm super excited. These guys always put on a great show. Looking forward to another week of broadcasting them.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right. Well, folks, for everyone here at the Hold Your Brakes Academy and Royalty Racing Network, my name is Joshua King. We hope you have a good rest of your evening and a good couple days until we see you hopefully again Wednesday night. Thanks for